Much, Linz. All right, it is one of the top stories in sports, and that is that Masai Ujiri is out as president of the Toronto Raptors. Joining the team back in 2013, Ujiri led the Raptors to its first and only NBA championship win back in 2019. He was responsible for moves like trading DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard and bringing in Nick Nurse to coach. So with Ujiri out, we are looking at where the team goes from here. Joining us this morning is Aaron Rose, reporter for Sports Illustrated. Aaron, good to have you back. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, well, let's start with how we got here. First of all, what was the last year like for Ujiri?
It's been complicated, and there have been changes within the ownership group that has owned the Toronto Raptors MLSE. And those changes, I think, have shifted the landscape for the Toronto Raptors and certainly for Masai Ujiri. And I think when you look around MLSE, you can see that even with the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got rid of Brendan Shanahan, their team president. I think that was sort of one of the indications that eventually this might have been coming. Obviously, the past few years have not been as successful for the Toronto Raptors. And I think with changes in ownership, it suggested that eventually we were probably heading in this direction. Of course, on Friday, it was a shocking decision that it came then. But I think we sort of had a clue that it might happen this year.
You know, for fans who really love him, they also love his strategy. They're willing to trust him with the moves that he makes that they may not agree with in the moment, but they believe in his ability for long-term payoff. So there's been some pretty negative reaction from fans. They're calling this dismissal a mistake. How did the team get to this point?
I think, again, it came down to ownership changes. And we've seen Larry Tannenbaum is exiting MLSE. We've seen Rogers take over a bigger share of MLSE. And I think when you're Masai Ujiri, it's been a difficult past few years. And I think ultimately it came down to MLSE was just sort of shifting. We've seen some layoffs within the organization. I think ultimately, again, it came down to the Raptors are looking to maintain the sort of MLSE's looking to maintain Masai Ujiri's vision. They're just sort of looking for someone else to do it right now. And it sounds like they're going to start an expansive search to look for somebody very similar to Masai Ujiri, but not Masai Ujiri.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you, is what exactly are they looking for? You know, when I watched that announcement come out, they listed all the accolades and all the reasons that they liked him and trusted him. And I just kept thinking, then why is he gone? So if not him, then who? Like, what else are they looking for? Where does the change come in?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I asked that question, you know, if you like him so much, why are you getting rid of him? And unfortunately, we couldn't get a great answer to that. They talked a lot about how happy they are with the stability of the organization. So if you're happy with the stability of the organization, why'd you get rid of the guy? It was a question that, again, I asked and couldn't get a great answer to. But it sounds like what they're looking for is, you know, somebody like Masai. Of course, one of the names we know that will be interviewed is Bobby Webster, Masai's general manager for the past many years, and a name that Toronto Raptors fans will be very familiar with. He will be one of the candidates. I expect him to be a leading candidate. But if not him, I don't know. Now, if there's hope for Raptors fans, listen, nobody knew who Masai Ujiri was so many years ago. When he first started with the Raptors, he was just some scout that nobody had heard of. Yeah. So there are smart basketball minds out there. It'll be the job of Keith Pelly and MLSE to find that person. But it won't be easy because this city knows what Masai Ujiri brought to Toronto.
Is it possible, Aaron, that he wanted out, that he had conflict with management and he wanted to go because he couldn't fulfill the vision in the way he wanted to do it?
Yeah, I think there has been tension dating back to Masai Ujiri's last contract. There was a report from the Toronto Star that Edward Rogers and Masai didn't see eye to eye on that last contract. We know Masai was coming off a championship and sort of wanted top-rate dollar and deserved it because of what he brought to the city. But again, the past few years haven't been so pretty, and I think there was going to be tough conversations had when his contract was due at the end of this season. And it sounds like, you know, ultimately, I think this was MLSE's decision. MLSE said it came to this decision a month ago. But I think, again, the writing has been on the wall for a little while. And I don't think Masai Ujiri was surprised that this was going to happen this year.
Sports Illustrated's Aaron Rose. It'll be interesting to see where he lands and who comes in. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.